Could you imagine Twitter and Instagram and Facebook when this song came out? If we had such a thing as the internet in 1981, could you imagine the shenanigans and the arguments and the slander that would go on online? If because people will be talking about this all the time. So what are your thoughts on Ray Parker Jr.'s newest song, "A Woman Needs Love"? That woman don't need no love. She need to be in my kitchen. And that woman probably say, "Well, you probably need to grow another 2 or 3 inches of." Everybody, right on time for another ride on the Groove Line with your boy Chris Stevens. Hopefully, you all are doing well out there. Well, finally dug out from the snow, so everything's good there. But hopefully, you all are having a wonderful week. It is Wednesday, and usually I talk about songs that make you want to hump on Hump Day, but we just going to allude to it a little bit with love, as it were. And 45 years ago this week, yes, 45 years ago this week, I was born in 1981. So a lot of the songs that we talk about on a daily basis throughout the entirety of the year are going to be songs that were out in 1981, which, of course, the year I was born. Most of these songs I don't remember hearing because, of course, I was born September 25th that year. But you get the picture. But if you're someone who's around in 1981, this year is pretty much for you. And that includes this gem of a song by Mr. Ray Erskine Parker Jr. and his group Raydio, "A Woman Needs Love Just Like You Do." And this song took over 1981 in a way for Ray Parker Jr. that he didn't even expect, because the story behind the song, if you've never watched Ray Parker's Unsung, goes like this. He was messing around in the studio, cut it in the wrong key, and knowing that he was going to be the one singing the lead, even though he knew, in his own words, this is his admission now, that he was not a singer. But he went ahead and put the song out anyway. And it became one of the biggest records of 1981. What's so weird about that is because you're entering a time in the early 80s when this is where women have really started to sort of have to be independent now, because there were a lot of men running away from their responsibilities, and people want to put this on black men, but no, white men ran too, Hispanic men ran too, Asian men ran too. A lot of men just felt like, mama's baby, papa's maybe, or whatever, by the turn of the early 80s, and women were like, well, I got to go to work and take care of this myself. So women were already getting tired of men, when you add into the fact there was second wave feminism in the 70s and learning that men were full of it, as women are still finding out today in 2026. And then you get this song by Ray Parker Jr. saying, well, women need love too. I mean, men fool around, but don't think that a woman won't fool around on your behind if you're doing wrong either. It's almost sort of like for that time, a modern version of Johnny Taylor's "Who's Making Love." Now, everybody's heard Johnny Taylor's "Who's Making Love." If you haven't, I mean, you can go check that out for yourself. I may do an entire episode on that. But yeah, Johnny Taylor's "Who's Making Love" is pretty much saying what Ray Parker Jr. in 1969, what Ray Parker Jr. was saying on "A Woman Needs Love" in 1981, which lets you know the game has not changed in the time that those two songs were out and new. If you feel like as a man that you can do anything you want, don't kid yourself into thinking that a woman can't do the same exact thing. You're lying to yourself if you think otherwise. Now, I'm not going to get into any personal stories, but if you are interested in personal stories, I do have an after hours podcast that you guys can check out. It's called The Overnight Scenario. I will put a link to that in the description below. It is at my Patreon, where you can subscribe for $1 a month, get that podcast, get some of my writing stuff, and probably early advanced episodes of On the Groove Line. So if you want to, invest in that for $1 a month, I'll put the link in the description. Y'all can check that out. But yeah, not to go too far off into personal experiences, even though I've done that before, but you never know what a woman is, dealing with when she, when y'all meet. And maybe it's not for you to know. Maybe she just wants to let loose and let free and go back to her, life as it were. Those things happen. And you don't find out about that until after, or she's up front and says, look, this ain't gonna be too much of nothing. I mean, you might just be some revenge, fill in the blank. And it's like, okay, do I accept that? Yes. Okay, let's go. Let's have fun. So, I mean, these things happen. But yeah, when you think about the way Ray just sings it, I mean, it's so interesting because Arnell Carmichael, who was, Ray's kind of like lead singer, because Jerry Knight had already left and started his solo gig. And Jerry Knight, probably one of the most underrated singer, songwriters, instrumentalists of the early 80s. God rest his soul. We'll probably do a Jerry Knight episode at some point down the line. But Arnell Carmichael was a great singer himself. Now, some songs and some artistic things are just cosmic accidents. Like, you can't just plan for certain things to go the way that they go, in music or in writing a book or in, sculpting something or painting or drawing or even recipes, things of that nature. If you cook, some things are just cosmic accidents. And it feels like A Woman Needs Love was just a cosmic accident. Ray Parker Jr. said, well, Arnell's not around. I don't feel like calling any studio musicians. I'll just do it myself. And he said, if I was insecure, I would have quit. But since I know I can't sing anyway, let's just have fun with it. And again, that record went on to be, a top 10 R&B. I mean, I think it went number 1 R&B. I know it was like top 40, top 20 pop or whatever. But imagine a woman, if you're a dude in a relationship, married, shacking, because people did shack up in the early 80s, probably more so than they do now. But yeah, if you were married, shacking up, or in a situationship with somebody in 1981, and this woman starts swaying whenever you hear, and now we're going to play that hot new tune by Ray Parker Jr. Radio, A Woman Needs Love. And she just starts, a woman needs love, just like you. You probably looking at her like, the hell you talking about? You want to tell me something was really good, Hey, you can't fool around or slack on your job and think that women don't notice and aren't, planning an exit or planning a plan B, as it were. So you have to, as a man, if you date women, you have to be on your job at all times. You can't just sit there and say, well, I got her. You still got to find ways to keep her, because if not, somebody else be trying to get her. And I think that's the thing that a lot of men forget, is that even though the numbers are in our favor, women are still very much the commodity. They're the prize. Men, talking about men want to be like, oh, I'm the prize. No, women are still the prize, buddy, because you may not appreciate her, but there's at least 5-10 other dudes that will at least try, give a more concerted effort than you are. Guaranteed. No doubt about it. So when Ray Parker Jr. put this record out 45 years ago, I know dudes were just like, I want to beat his ass. And the women were like, oh, I just want to give him some. Okay, all right, let me stop. But you get the picture. It was a very important record from the space of, not only did this give, sort of like a voice and a vehicle for debates and relationships in the early 80s. Thank God we didn't have social media in 1981. God, could you imagine Twitter and Instagram and Facebook when this song came out? If we had such a thing as the internet in 1981, could you imagine the shenanigans and the arguments and the slander that would go on online? If because people will be talking about this all the time. So what are your thoughts on Ray Parker Jr.'s newest song, A Woman Needs Love? That woman don't need no love. She need to be in my kitchen. And that woman probably say, well, you probably need to grow another 2 or 3 inches of. All right, okay. I'm just saying. That's basically the crux of internet arguments these days when it's dating a relationship. So we should be thankful that the internet was not a thing when Ray Parker Jr. put out A Woman Needs Love. Let's be abundantly clear about that. But if you have not heard that song before, I highly recommend you go check it out and come back and let us know what you think. But if you do remember A Woman Needs Love by Ray Parker Jr. Radio, please let us know what your memories are of that song. Love to hear from you in the comments. And that's going to do it for this ride on the Groove Line. Greatly appreciate y'all as always. Contact information will be in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that notification bell so you're notified of all the new videos that drop on the channel. And don't forget to like and comment on these videos, because as you all know, I do talk back in the comments. So thank you guys for riding with me on the Groove Line. And until the next time we ride, may you find the groove, or may the groove find you.